I just don't know how is that relatable or relevant to this conference, so that you know, I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan. We are on the roll, 2 wins, right? I don't know about the other guys. How many wins? 0. So we are in day 2 of the Focus Conference, and Kaizer Chiefs have 2 wins already. That's interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're about to start with the conference. I'm just here to make a few announcements. I'm not even going to say welcome to day 2. There's someone who's going to do that. But I'm just here to make a few announcements, just to remind you colleagues, I'm sure on the screens, you are seeing something that was, I think it's manual, of how you can download the app, right? Please download the conference app. That is where we make instant announcements so that you know about the changes in the program. Also, a quick reminder, colleagues, about how you can download the app. You know, in an attempt to go green, we are not printing any book of abstract. This is the only piece of paper we printed for the conference, right? So what you need to do is to use your mobile phone and scan this QR code. George, you are not counted there. Your mobile phone doesn't count, right? Right? Use your mobile phone and scan this QR code, and then you will be able to get the book of abstract, failing which, right? You can access that also in the app. You can download the book of abstract there, but we've also shared the book of abstract with you via the email, right? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let me leave the stage then to Dr. Makoa to say welcome. Doc, over to you. DJ, it does look that you were not there last night. Otherwise, you would have prayed something while Doc was coming to the floor.
Good morning, colleagues, once again. Let's go straight to the business of the day. I just have a few announcements and other things to say before we start with our program today. Let me say welcome to day 2 of the Focus Conference. We had a good time last evening, and if you missed out, sorry. Let's hope that you will join us for the dinner. We will try to make it up to you tonight. So you are welcome this morning, colleagues. First thing that I would like to say, I need to correct some information. Dr. Clearly was not happy with me yesterday. He said I didn't give the right stats about his delegation. Where are you? I saw him in the morning, but, okay. There he is. Yesterday, I was given information that there are 6 delegates from VUT, but the correct information, he says it's 11, and that needs to be acknowledged. So thank you so much, Dr. Quilly, for that. We appreciate it. You will definitely get a delegation from MUT to come for your conference later in September. But we do appreciate the support, and the support from you and your colleagues is always consistent, and we appreciate that. And I'm sure it's consistent because you're always part of what we do, and you don't feel out when you are here. The third, is it second? Yes. Second one, I would like to acknowledge Ms. Shabalala from the DHET, who has joined us yesterday. She was at the cocktail networking event. Was she? Oh, okay. So thank you, Slee, for coming. Can you just stand and wave? Because Slee controls the purse. So thank you so much. Later today, Ms. Mandisa Kagwe will join her. She's also from the DHED. They're from the same department. We always appreciate them when they come. So they will be with us at the dinner this evening. So thank you for coming. The gala dinner will be, is it in this venue where we are? The gala dinner will be here. The venue will be transformed into something else this evening. And I'm sure we will also transform our outfits to come to the event this evening. So please come ready to enjoy. We'll give you the red carpet, as we always do. Please don't miss the evening. It's all your evening, ladies and gentlemen. So we're looking forward to seeing you. The other thing that I've been requested to say is that please honor the breakaway sessions, colleagues. If some people listen to your presentations, please make sure that you also do listen to their presentations. I was told that especially after lunch, people are tempted to go to the mall or the sea. And I was saying to my colleagues, next time I'll take the conference to a bush somewhere away from the city. And they say you will go alone, they say. So, colleagues, please, let's attend all the sessions. We know Durban is always an attraction for everyone, but you will have enough time. That is why we strategically ended the program after lunch in our announcement so that your institutions can allow you to stay over and leave on Saturday. So you'll have enough time after the program tomorrow to do everything that you need to do, especially because we don't have winter in Durban, so it's always comfortable to do a whole lot of things around here. So please, colleagues, do attend all the sessions. After lunch, let's make it for the sessions, and let's honor actually the institutions that have allowed us to be here, who have paid for us to be here, and let's do what we have been given time off to do, and that is to attend the conference and not to go to the mall. And then the other thing, I've been told that when session times change, because other people may not be here, please check the app. So it's important to have the app. You will see the times will get updated on the app on a continuous basis. So do check the app and see where venues are and sessions are at all times. And then the last thing, I'm going to be introducing our speaker for today, who will be taking the stage now just after me. Her name is Susan Knowles, who's from the U.S. consulate in Durban. I've met her at a distance before when she was sharing about what they do. So she's responsible for alumni and exchanges in the embassy. She was actually reminding me now that there's someone now at MUT who is in the US as part of the exchanges that they do. So we just asked her, consistent with the theme of our conference, to come in and share about the scholarships, the partnerships that they work with in their division. So if it's not for you, please listen in for someone else, or listen in for your postgraduate students if you have them, or you can listen in for yourself as well. When I started out as an academic, that's many years ago, I remember I was on one of the exchanges for a period of about 6 weeks. That was in 2002. And so that's a long time ago. It was a 6 to 10 week program in the US. They do help, and they do help to add value to your outlook of what you do in the higher education space. So she is responsible for Education USA, Alumni and Exchanges, Emerging Voices Coordinator at the US Consulate General in Durban. Originally from New York State, USA, her passion for international education was sparked as a student resident of the International Living Center at Cornell University and was fanned into flame while an international student advisor at the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville. She started part-time at the consulate as an Education USA advisor in 2006. Her work morphed into full-time position and now includes coordinating alumni programs and exchanges. She is married to a South African, okay, and, and they have 3 sons. Her current life quotes come from Frantz Fanon: "A new day which is dawning must find us determined, enlightened, and resolute." And from Martin Luther King Jr., "Returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do." That sounds deep. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can. Susan, over the stage. Let's give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen, as she comes to share. It's actually an information sharing session that we've agreed to give her. And please listen in for you and for others. You're welcome. Thanks. Yes. Okay. Okay. There's something we need to do. I'm going to email you.
Good morning. Such an honor to be here today, and thank you so much to Dr. Makua for inviting me to join you today. Bit embarrassing. I emailed him my PowerPoint, but I did not tell him that I needed it uploaded. So we're just going to have to wait a few minutes when the PowerPoint comes up. But in the meantime, I would like to learn a little bit more about all of you. If I can just ask, how many of you here today are postgraduate students? Just put your hands, just so I get a good idea. Okay, thank you. And how many are faculty, university faculty, professors? Okay, and how many are students, undergraduate students? Are there any? Oh, a couple. Thank you. A few in the back there, great, okay. As was mentioned, I work at the United States Consulate General in Durban, and I work primarily promoting U.S. higher education, working with exchange programs, and then working with alumni of our exchange programs when they return. I've been at the consulate for almost 20 years. As mentioned, I started part-time and then moved in full-time. And I also just wanted to give a note. I'm originally from a little town called Kanianga Lake, New York. It's about 90 miles west of New York City. A very rural area, a lot of farmers. And when I went to Cornell University, who has heard of Cornell University? Great, so many of you. It's actually one of the Ivy League. But in my community, that wasn't even known. When I told people I was going to Cornell, they asked if I was going to go into agriculture. Because the university had some wonderful, what we call cooperative education programs in communities in New York State to help farmers be more productive on their farms and to uplift communities. And so that's what it was known for in the community I was from. But when I was there, I lived in the International Living Center, which was a residence hall for US students and students from other countries. And it was through that that I met my husband, who was from Pinetown, South Africa. And, yeah, and just to say, you never know what will happen when you begin collaborating with people from other countries. So, yeah, so thank you. I'm going to go ahead and just start, even without the PowerPoint, if that's okay, because we have a number of programs that I hope are going to be of interest to you. And I am going to have to preface this a little bit for those of you who have been following U.S. higher education in the United States. You'll realize we do have challenges at the moment. There's a big debate, just as there is in South Africa, about foreign nationals and universities. Some universities have been targeted, which is hard for many of us to understand, as that's one of the strengths of the United States has always been our higher education system, the diversity within that system, the diversity of peoples, the diversity of subject matter, and the diversity of research. And it still remains one of the strongest, I would say strongest selling points of the United States is our higher education system. So I just wanted to say that for those of you who may be sitting here thinking, I don't think I want to go to the United States right now, I want to encourage you that at this time, our exchange programs are moving forward, and U.S. universities welcome the international community. We welcome international students, international faculty, and we do hope that you will not allow the current climate up here to avoid all the good work that's going on down here. And just to say, my U.S. colleagues would really appreciate me sharing that. I think as we collaborate with one another, the world becomes a better place. We all become wiser and stronger. And so I am very happy today to be sharing information on our exchange programs. And thank you so much. Thanks, Prof. I don't know where you are, but thanks. And apologies, I didn't organize this. I sat there having my muffin and water, and I should have been doing this. Thank you. Great. All right, so the programs I'm going to be focusing on today are our Fulbright programs. And just to say that Fulbright is actually an umbrella for a number of different programs. The first program I want to be speaking on today is the Fulbright South African Research Scholar Program. How many of you have heard of this program? Great, okay, so some of you have heard of it, and now more of you are going to hear of it. This is a fantastic program where either research institute or university staff member who has a PhD goes to the United States for 3 to 9 months to do research and collaborate with US colleagues. We actually, as was mentioned, have Dr. Mvuyana currently in the United States on this program, and I encourage you all, she's, I believe, going to have a program. She's doing a presentation at some point today, so if you can be on that, I encourage you to join that and to speak with her when she gets back. A lot of times these programs just seem so far off and difficult to access, but once you know about that, it empowers you so that you can apply. And I'm also going to say you can apply more than once. All of our programs, we never say, that's it. If you didn't make it the first time, don't apply again. We actually expect people to learn through the application process, to understand the programs better, and to be able to strengthen their applications if necessary. So please don't be put off by the process and do consider applying. One of the main goals of this program, which I already mentioned in part, it is to strengthen partnerships between institutions and to strengthen and increase research collaboration with US universities. In order to qualify for this program, you do have to have your PhD. You do need to write a proposal where you explain to a layman like me, who is the first person to read the applications, what your research is going to entail. And also you need letters of recommendation, 3 of them, and these are very important. So we encourage you to speak to the people you're going to be getting these letters from, and you will register them on the application. We reach out to them and they upload the material to our system. The research grant covers really all your expenses for this program. So it covers all related visa fees, it covers your airfare, it covers a small settling in allowance, your housing, your room, and board. You also get a professional allowance that covers books, conferences, and seminars. We cover health insurance as well. So again, to be eligible, you do need your PhD. And just to say, this is not a postdoc program. So those of you who are postgrads and maybe about to finish your PhD, you wouldn't apply for this for a postdoc experience. This is meant for faculty who have at least 3 years of experience with teaching, who have done some publishing. I will say we have had some fairly recent PhDs go on this program, but they were very, very productive. As postgraduate students, they had multiple publications. They had already been teaching, and so they did have the required experience that we're looking for the program. Preference is given to candidates who have not been to the US before on another exchange program or to work. And it's also given to those who, again, have a good track record for research, for teaching. Unfortunately, through this program, you cannot do any clinical medical research. So you can't be working with humans or animals directly. You also need to be a South African citizen or a permanent resident who has been a permanent resident in South Africa for 5 years. So how to apply? As I mentioned, applications are open now. So I really hope some of you are going to consider applying. The deadline is the 1st of October. I do have some little flyers that are out front, and you can just scan the QR code. It'll take you to the U.S. Embassy website where we have information on the program and how to apply. Are there any questions before I move on? Any questions about the Scholar program? Yes. Good question, thank you. Yeah, there is no official age limit, but what we will look at is how much time the applicant has when they come back to South Africa. So if someone is deemed to be retiring in 1 to 5 years, it's less likely that you would be selected. Maybe 5 years is going too far, but definitely if retirement's quite imminent, then we would question whether that would be the best investment. Yeah, but there isn't an official age limit. Any other questions? No. Great. And you're welcome to reach out to me. My contact details are at the end of the PowerPoint. If you do think of questions later on, happy to help. My colleague who oversees this program is Mr. Tula Ngobo, and unfortunately he was unable to be here today as he had another engagement. But he is sorry he's not here. He did work with Prof. Brianna, and he's sorry that he can't be here. But you can reach out to me or him. So some other programs we have. One of the programs, just as we have the Scholar program for South Africans to go to the United States, we have a program for US faculty members with PhDs to come to South Africa. And this is a less well-known program. It's the US Scholar program. And you may be wondering why I'm telling you about it, since you're not in the US. But I'm telling you about it because hopefully you are collaborating and you're in touch with US colleagues. And believe it or not, a lot of times US colleagues don't know about these programs. And you may be wanting to work together. This person in the US could apply for the Fulbright Scholar Program, US Scholar Program, and come to your institution for up to a year to do research and or to teach. So it's a wonderful opportunity for the university to bring in someone so that you can build your research and build collaboration and build teaching. So if you have US colleagues, please do consider suggesting they apply for the US Scholar Program. Another program we have that brings US colleagues to South Africa is the Specialist Program, the US Specialist Program. And this is another great program where you at MUT would put in an online proposal, and it's not a difficult proposal, I'll just throw that out there, to invite a specialist from the US to come and work on a specific project. It could be curriculum development, it could be training, it could be something in the community, but you do the proposal for them to come out. You may know who you want to come, and you can name them on the application, or you may and then we recruit in country to fill that request. So I encourage you, just as I would love you to tell your US colleagues about the US Scholar Program, please also tell them about the Scholar in Residence Program. And that's an opportunity for you to go to the US for a year to teach and represent South Africa. The other program I'm sure you all have heard of is the Foreign Student Program. Who has heard about the Fulbright Student Program? No. Wow, okay. I was sure this was the one you would have heard of. The student program is just that. It's for students. And we can really use the help of faculty members in this, in recruiting. The Fulbright program, the student program, is quite a selective program. It's a competitive program with about 15 students a year countrywide going. That works out to roughly 3 to 4 students a year from the KZN province. But you as faculty, you know some of your postgrad students, or some of your, postgrad including honors. And you may know people who you would really recommend for this program and can encourage them to apply and mentor them through the application. That makes a huge difference for the students. I have one professor I worked with who actually went on the research scholar program, and he now worked with one of his honor students in agriculture for the Fulbright program to go and do a master's. So the Fulbright Student Program is a program that covers tuition, room, board, a stipend, visa fees, health insurance, round-trip airfare to go and either complete a master's degree in the United States or to complete a PhD, or if the student is currently doing their PhD in South Africa and wants to go to the United States for a year to do research toward their South African PhD, that's called a visiting student researcher. Fulbright also covers that. So those are 3 opportunities for students for postgrad studies in the US. I say it is competitive, but every year I have students say to me, I don't know how I got selected for this. You know, just that not feeling good enough. And we do look at grades, but we don't only look at grades. We also look at dedication to the field, we look at recommendations from faculty, we look at research they have done or teaching that they have done. So we look at the whole application, not just the grades. So please consider students you might like to have apply for this program. Another program we have that applications are currently open for is the Foreign Language Teaching Assistant Program, the FLTA program. Has anyone heard of this program? I see one head nodding. Thank you. Yeah, it's a fantastic program where an early career teacher goes to the United States to teach isiZulu at a US university for 1 academic year. They teach as a graduate assistantship, and as they're teaching, they take 2 classes each semester toward professional development. So they don't come back with a degree, but they come back enriched professionally, as well as to have had the cross-cultural experience of being and teaching in the United States. So applications are open now. They close the 29th of September. And when I say early career teachers, they could have studied education and they're high school teachers, but they also can be teaching at university. So maybe you have a student who has been a tutor or has been taking classes for Zulu or even for English. They would be eligible for this as well because they do have teaching experience, especially if they're hoping to join academia and become lecturers. This is a really good program for those language students as well. And language includes communications. It doesn't have to be English or isiZulu. It can be media studies, communication studies, anything related, language related. So that's the FLTA program. The other program we have is the SUSI program, the Study of U.S. Institutes. We have a program for scholars, and we have a program for students. And those programs are 5 to 6 weeks. And we actually also have a professor who's presenting later today about her experience. And you're welcome. I encourage you to speak with her. That is Professor Zolile Kulu. Is she here? Where? Yeah, oh no, I'm saying sorry, and that's you. I should have known. Yay. Oh, well, welcome back. You've been back a little while, but yes, good to see you. Yeah, so just to say, please, in the U.S., if you're an academic and you lecture, you're called a professor. Yeah, so please, yeah, that's why I throw the word around maybe too casually, but yes, in the U.S. that's what you would be, yeah. So just to say that. But yes, so please, if you have questions, speak with Prof. Ulu, and learn about her experience and how she got to go. Yeah, it's a great program, but she can tell you more about it herself. The other program that will soon be opening up for suggested nominations is the SUSI Student Program. And what we're looking for that program are young student leaders who, when they come back from the program in February, have at least 1 semester left before they finish their undergraduate degree. And so if you know of a young student leader that you think would benefit from 5 to 6 week exchange with other student leaders from South Africa and many other countries, as well as US student leaders, this is a wonderful opportunity for them. So I encourage you to consider that. Those are our SUSI programs. And there's the there is a QR code that you can scan for that, or I can give you my card. Sorry, I don't know where it is. It up? Yeah, it is up. There you go. So you can scan the QR code and link to our website if you want more information. That QR code specifically for the South African research scholar programs, but from there you can go on to learn about our other programs as well. Anybody have questions about any of these programs? Yes. Yes, thanks for that. Yeah, so the question was, for students, is everything fully funded? And it is. So that is one of the wonderful things about Fulbright. A student does not already have to have funds to be able to go. Yeah, we actually do partner with the NRF for our visiting student researchers. So for those, we're looking for students doing their PhD here who are funded by the NRF. And then the NRF helps fund them with Fulbright to go for the year to the US. But all the other students are funded by Fulbright, all expenses. You won't make money through Fulbright. I'll just clarify that. You know, if students think, oh, great, I'm going to go and I'll send money home or I'll save up some money, you don't make enough money to really be able to do that. But you make enough money to live as a student or to live as a faculty member in the US on the exchange programs. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, yes, I'll take you first because you're in front, yeah.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask, I see that it says it's open to scholars in all disciplines. Except clinical medical research. I just wanted to clarify if that includes biomedical sciences or it just means that people who have a medical degree.
Oh, great, yeah. So what we mean by that is if your research involves actually working with humans, then we unfortunately can't cover that. But if it's just medical research, like in the lab, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, great. And did you have another question?
Okay, regarding, again, students, you indicated that the student can be tutors or peer assistant. My question is now, it has to be students doing postgrad, or it can be students just after who graduated, maybe for diploma, or it has to be postgrad students?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. We haven't had that before. No, they wouldn't have to be postgrad students. As long as they have completed a 4-year, the equivalent of a 4-year bachelor's degree, so either a 3-year degree and an honors, or an advanced diploma, would it be, and honors, but they need to have that 4-year undergraduate.
Okay. And then the last question, you indicated that you support everything, and do you support the visual arts, even in the teaching in terms of the visual arts?
Yeah, so for the Fulbright student program, it could be visual arts. I will be honest, at the moment, the focus for the US and for South Africa really is more in STEM. But having said that, like in the visual arts, for example, perhaps they're trying to do things with AI. Perhaps, there may be that kind of a connection that would strengthen the application, but we would consider any field of study. It would depend on who else applies and the strength of their applications and the fields that they're applying for. Yeah. Sure? Last.
Science and all that, because it's one of the inclusions that has been not merged with, because we've been excluded in the past. So now we've got STEM. So I don't know, it's something we can consider.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
And is that NRF also funded? Yeah, no, then that would meet the criteria. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. Yeah. One thing I also just wanted, if we have time, yeah, I also just wanted to mention, have any of you worked at all with COIL? No. Okay, I'm going to have to, I actually have to look it up. I'm not the expert in this, but since we're talking about international collaboration, so COIL is Collaborative Online International Learning. All right, so maybe you heard of it and just didn't hear of the acronym. But I'm not the expert in this, as I had said to Prof. Makua, unfortunately. But there are US universities, especially, for example, the New York State public university system. Part of Cornell falls under that. City University of New York falls under that. Some community colleges fall under this. They're doing a lot with COIL. So for an example, at DUT, they were running some classes where through this collaborative effort through COIL, US students and DUT students in some of their engineering classes had classes together virtually. And then after a certain period of time and a certain coursework was covered, they were asked to collaborate on a specific project, which they did, and then they had to, in a sense, virtually present these projects. So I think international education is evolving. For me, first prize is in-person exchanges. Something happens when you're actually immersed in a culture, in a language, in a country. And I think these are vital. But I also realize that the majority of faculty and students from our universities are not going to be able to have this in-person experience. And so to find other ways using technology to be able to have that experience and collaborate together. And sometimes that will lead at some point to an in-person encounter, in-person experience. But in the meantime, you're exposing students to the wider world out there, to what's happening in their field beyond KZN and South Africa. And the US students benefit just as much. Probably many of you have heard that most Americans, well, I don't know if that's fair, I don't know if it's most, but many Americans never leave the state that they're from. And so Americans also need to be exposed to ideas, to research, to cultures outside of America. And they're not going to be traveling here, but through COIL and through other virtual collaboration, they get that opportunity. And so I just want to plant that seed as well. Don't think of exchanges only as having to be in person. There are other ways to do it. And you probably are covering some of those during this conference. If there aren't, are there any other questions before I close? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Mr. Mpatesi Temkize. I once participated in a program called English Access Micro-Scholarship Program, which was a very fascinating one between the embassy and I think the University of KwaZulu-Natal. I was just checking if those kinds of programs are still available for academics or to apply, because they bridge a very interesting gap, expanding the stakeholder engagement, even schools and universities and so forth. If maybe there is any opportunity that the university also can look up to that, because I realized that in KZN was only the University of KwaZulu-Natal that was running that through Professor Msibi.
Okay, thank you for that. That was a wonderful program. English Language Access Program was a program for high school students where they had an after-school enrichment program regarding the English language, but also about US culture, which was worked into the program. So they learned about Thanksgiving, holidays, certain US holidays, that kind of thing. It's not available at the moment in South Africa. Whether it will start up again, I'm not sure. That was through our regional English language office, and it was a fantastic program. But we do have another program, which I'm glad you brought this up, through the Regional English Language Office. It's called the English Language Fellow Program, English Language Fellow, or ELF. Americans love acronyms. So through this program, for 1 year, an English Language Fellow can come to your institution and they can initiate, well, you do the proposal. So they can teach, they can initiate, for example, a language club, they can initiate a writing club, they can initiate a spoken word club, and it's a great way, if you're looking within the languages, to build languages, to support students with their writing, with their reading, with their speaking of English. It's a wonderful program, and you could put in a proposal for an English Language Fellow. If you have questions about that, if you're interested, reach out to me or to Tula, and we can connect you with our Regional English Language Office, and they could help you with that proposal. There is, for example, there's a fellow coming out to University of KwaZulu-Natal, to the School of Education, and that's from the history of Prof. Msibi, who helped get that program there to start with. Yeah. And that's another thing. Prof. Msibi actually went on the Fulbright student program to do a master's in the United States. And it's a wonderful example. He's now Deputy Vice Chancellor of Teaching and Learning at UKZN. So a wonderful example of what some of these opportunities can lead to for students who seize them with both hands. Thanks for that question. Anything else before we close? No. Okay. I just want to say thank you again. Thanks for listening to me. I hope it wasn't too much of a monologue, and I do hope you'll remember there are opportunities out there, and I just encourage you, grab them with both hands and contact me if you have any questions. Oh, and here's my contact details, and Mr. Tubo as well. So you can take those down. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much for the time you made to share the information with us. Colleagues, I will encourage you, please do take advantage of the opportunities. They are real. You can land one of these opportunities yourself, or your students, or your kids, whatever. I mean, whoever can benefit, let them benefit from the information that you got today. It is real, and the programs are life-changing for anyone who gets into them. It does really transform you as an individual and what you do. So I will add my voice to that. Thank you so much for coming. We're looking forward to an extended relationship and partnerships on this. Before we break for tea, ladies and gentlemen, I'm under strict instructions to do the following things before we go. There's a couple of people we need to give some goodies. The first one, it's, I don't see her, Professor Denise. Are you still here? I don't think she's here. I've seen her, but if she's not here, we're going to skip that. I'm told if she's not here, I can have the by myself. Then the next one, Susan, I'm going to ask you just to come back to the stage to get an appreciation. Are you going to give it, or am I going to give it? Okay. It's very heavy. I'm not sure you have to declare it, but thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, please do. Okay. Must we come down? Oh, okay. Siyabonga. The next one, Dr. Kili, I'm told you are due for a hamper for the biggest delegation of the conference. Your team may want you to share what's in here with you. Okay, thank you. Like I told you, Susan, we were once at Howard with Dr. Kili, and we landed the speaker in one of our conferences. The rest is history. But it was a good experience. The next thing I have to do is to indicate, colleagues, that changes for the venues and sessions have been made on the app already. Please do check the app. There's a lot happening there. Some of these announcements will not be made here. And I've been asked once again to emphasize the gala dinner. The location of the venues, colleagues, is as follows. All other venues are at the 4th floor. 4th floor only, and then the other venue will be here. So it's at this level, and then the 4th floor. Okay, good. Instructions will be given tomorrow morning on uploading papers, how that will be done. The information will be shared tomorrow in the morning session for those who want their papers to be published. So let's move fast and make sure that you don't miss that information that will be shared with you tomorrow morning. The last thing I have to do is the social media presence, interaction, and posting. I have been requested to emphasize that people who get to be recognized are not only those who show up in the social media space, but you have to show up and post. You have to show up, like, follow, and post. So if you just show up and leave, you're going to get nothing. But if you show up and make a post, you will get something. Did I do justice to it? Okay, the next thing then, there's someone who did show up and they did make a post and they're getting chocolates also. Okay. Am I giving the chocolates? Okay, can I have them? And the name of the person is Muteo. Muteo, can you come and get your chocolates? Please do follow. Some of this will be given on the conference floor. So do get into the social media space and say something, post something. You don't know, you might even land a weekend somewhere. So just stay there, and see what happens. We've reached the end of this session, colleagues. It is tea time now. Okay. I've been reminded, colleagues, let's not do what happened yesterday. The tea that you see here, it's not the only one that's here. If you are going to the breakaway venues at the 4th floor, your tea will be right there, so that we free this space for our guests and for those who will be in this venue. Thank you so much, colleague. The session is officially adjourned. Thank you.